Hey everyone, I was inspired by Taddy Treasures, and that was my chair. If you heard that noise, she was making like little masterboards. This R, by the way, was stuck to my sweater that I wear outside, and I never wear that sweater in here. So how it got there, I'm not sure. Other than it must have been stuck to my arm. So I carried it in here thinking I'm gonna make sure and use it on one of these. But anyway, Taddy your treasure, or spit it out. Taddy Treasures, like spelled Treasyous. And she was making like, she had cut index cards in half and was making little collage writing spots. I thought of them like little mini master boards or whatever. And I had tea dyed some of these index cards when I did my session last week, and also tea dyed some flashcards. So I thought I'm going to use these with my scraps, my jelly printing scraps, my wallpaper scraps, and these scraps that I don't even know. There are a lot of ledger pages and rag book pages and different things. So I thought we could just make some of those to go in my Italian journal that I'm making from wallpaper. And also I have this jelly print that I did on the mass make session that I was getting ready for the Mixed Media March 25. And I want to make I want to use this a little bit for those bright journals that I'll probably never ever get completed. Oh, and then I also have some tea-dyed Italian paper that I want to stick on a few of these. And this one was torn, so I thought that would be a good one to use. And this one, I thought these ladies would make a fantastic piece, maybe on some of these taller ones. So let's just get busy here and see what I can come up with. I've grabbed some washi tape out too. I had in my mind I might want to use some of that. So since I had those ladies, I'm going to go ahead and do one of these first. And I don't want a fussy cut or anything. So I thought, well, I'll just tear this with my decal edge ruler. Lay it kind of where I think it will be. And I'm going to tear her out of there. These were some that I had tea dyed. Oh my goodness, look at the back of that. Oh, isn't that pretty? And I'm going to glue it down and lose it. Okay, well, okay, focus. Don't look at the back. Just keep going. Okay. I have such a hard time losing those beautiful markings. This, anyway, what I was saying is this is Italian paper that I tea dyed. And this Italian paper is in my shop, but it's not tea dyed. And I don't think, you know, everything always changes with me. I don't think I'm going to offer the tea dyed in my shop, only because I just think it's so pretty. It doesn't need to be tea dyed, but I have some that are different. Maybe it's just this style. I don't feel like it needs to be tea dyed. Get my glue stick out here. And I think I'm going to wait a second because I like that decal edge. I'm going to do something here that doesn't need, that will go underneath. And I have, ooh, a really pretty piece of French ledger paper. So I'm going to glue that on the other side. Why I think that ledger paper goes with Italian, I feel like that kind of goes together. And I'm using my glue stick, but I will probably sew around these. So, you know, if you are not going to sew around, you might want to use something a little more stable than glue stick. Now I'm going to glue this on the other side. My pretty lady here. And I'm going to cut this, even though, you know, I could wait till I'm done. I like to see exactly what I'm working with here. And if I got that hanging off, I'm not really seeing what I have so far. So I'm cutting that off. I just love the way they used to write in those ledgers. Absolutely beautiful to me. Okay, so let's grab some. I started saying, here's a piece of that wallpaper. That would look cool right there, I think. I'll bring it down here where I'm not losing hardly any of my ledger. I do love the ledger. I was trying to find some of my jelly print scraps. Which seem to have escaped me. There's this, but that isn't what I was looking for. Here's some of that. That's my favorite. Got some more scraps of the Italian paper. That would look pretty like that. And I need a piece of my jelly print. What happened to it? I had a bigger piece. Okay, we're going to have to stop the show and let me search. You know what? I'm overthinking, so here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to start gluing down. And I'm not going to keep looking. Just going to start gluing down. This Italian paper on this one, because I think she goes good with that lady. Or he, or it, or this piece of paper is probably not a gender. And I need some of my... Everything is going vertical, so I need to get some things going across here, don't I? Let's do something like this. Maybe at the bottom. And I need one more piece to go right here. Maybe some book page. Oh, here's my piece I was looking for. Ooh, I like that rag paper, so I'm going to tear it a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it sideways. I think I'm getting too much vertical stuff happening here. Put it right here. Could have not tore that, couldn't I? That was silly. I was forgetting that I was going to turn it sideways. All right. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm going to put something right in there too. Maybe a piece of this where I've done that edge. I want to put a piece right there. And I don't want to lose that edge. I like the holes on there. Needs to be something. Maybe I just need to stamp some more numbers. That's what I need to do. I don't want to take away from these beautiful ledger numbers, but that just might, you know, might be okay. Yeah, that looks good. Something like that. That looks good. I like that. What else do I need? I need to do a number because that is something you're supposed to put on every one of them. So I'm going to stamp one, but I also have that little bag that I found. Someone asked, where did you get that bag? Those were die cut numbers that I had done and just put them in a little bag. But I'm thinking I want to make some for my shop, just different. Let's see, what is this one? I think this is number 5. Do I have a number 5? Ooh, I don't know about that, but looky here. I have some music notes. Maybe I need to put something like that. But you know what I need to do? I need to, and this is a good idea, I think. I said that like I knew and I hadn't done it before. I'm going to scuff that. It's so black. It needs to be a little bit. I'd probably be better to use my fingernail file rather than that big block. Oh, and look, I just ripped off my little legs. Silly. Okay, well, I think that if I'm going to sand it, I need to do that before I cut it. So, what if I just had one little... Because you know what? That's a music page right there. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to sand it, but I got another idea. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And I'm going to try to fix the little leg. This is just a die cut too. Hope I can fix that. Oh, I think it'll be okay. Get over there, little fella. And I'm using art glitter glue to glue this down because when I sew, it's not going to catch that. Because I don't have intentions of sewing right down through the middle. What do you think? Does that look okay? Okay. Let's see what else. A number. I was looking for number 5, wasn't I? I kind of don't like that in the middle there. But I'm going to try something. I seen Darcy do this on her mixed media march. She was making, journal toppers. I want to see if I can, I'm just going to tear it again. You know what? You're coming off of there. I'm so mad at you, and I'm the one doing it, but I'm mad at you. Okay. All right. Bad idea. That was a bad idea. Ooh, how dumb. Okay. That's okay. And I've pulled this up, but I like that. I like that little rough looking part. So I'm going to leave that. Go ahead and actually I want to round the corners, but I better wait because it still feels a little bit wet. So I'm wondering about going ahead and putting my, do I want a number like this? I think I do, but I have an idea for this first. I'm going to go ahead and do it, even though it really, I wanted to do it on something bigger, but I have some of this packing paper here, so I'm just going to brush off what I don't need on it. So I'm just taking a little bit of white paint and pretty much getting all of it out of my brush, but just a little bit to give that 5 a look. Do you like that? I like that better. Kind of calms down that stark black a little bit. I'm going to put that 5, I think, right there. I like that. Or should I put it up here? Ugh, who knows? Just go with your first thought and quit overthinking it. That's why I'm not very good at master boards or clusters. I tend to just think it to death. Okay. What do we think of that? Now I'm going to round the corners. Had to find my corner rounder because little man, he likes to stack them up. And they stack really good because they have this rubber piece on the bottom. I guess where they don't slide around your table. So there's my first one. My first piece with the jelly print. It has a number stamped on it. And I'm going to put my signature on it. I'm going to hide it right there. I like that. That's so cool. Okay. I think I want to put a little bit more paint on it though. And I am going to sew around it too. Whoops, I didn't mean to get my number again, but there I sure did. This paintbrush came from the Dollar Tree. I like it because it's really stiff. Ooh, I like how that looks on her dress, too. All right. So I love it. Love that piece. And I'm going to ink around it when it gets dry. And then I'm going to sew it. But let's carry on with more pieces. That took way too long. Okay. So let's try one of our index cards here. And I like that. I intended on covering the lined side, but that has such pretty markings on it. I think I'm going to cover this side instead. So I'm going to use some of this Italian paper. That piece that I tore. And I'm just going to go fast on this one. I am not going to think. Watch me go. Someone the other day said they had trouble with Oohoo because it clumped and stuff. And I said, no, not me. Well, shoot, it's just a clumping like crazy today. Look at it. But that's okay. We don't care. We're just going to keep going. Momentum, momentum. Okay, I'm going to put a piece of that. Does it match? Don't know. Going to do it. I'm trying to keep Carrie, Paper Monkey Carrie, her in mind. She just did it. She just laid them down. She said the reason she does it is because she don't know what she's doing, but I think that's not really true. Okay, so let's grab some more ledger or something kind of paper. A little bit more rag paper here. I like to ink it. I know some people think that rag paper shouldn't be inked because that's really not the color of the edges, but I don't really care. I just like it. I like that burnt look. You know, that's funny because people at the post office, when I take my packages, I always do my labels like that. I ink around and whatever. And they always ask, and how do you do that? Do you burn those edges? Can you imagine me with something burning? Oh, how scary would that be? I know that I still have a piece of my paper showing, but I don't care. I like the way it looks, and I really wanted to get that edge. So that's why I moved that down a little bit. That's a pretty piece of ledger. No, there's writing on. Nah, stay with the numbers. I like the numbers. I want another one of these ladies. Maybe a smaller lady. Yeah, let me find my ruler. Easier said than done on this desk. I think I want this little lady right here. I have to keep reminding myself, don't look at the back. It's so pretty from that tea dyeing. I think I'm going to actually put her on the top. So here I'm going to lay down things that I want to go sideways. I'm thinking about, I think I've already said this. I think I'm repeating myself is what I think. Putting some of this wallpaper in my Etsy shop. Does anybody ever think they wish they had some wallpaper? Ooh, here's some Braille paper. Let's put some of that. I'm going to ink over it just to highlight those, the Braille. And look at it, how it's clumping. So whoever said that, yes, I guess I do have trouble with it sometimes. And I do like to varnish the back, you know, just to make sure that that glue sticks as best as it can, because yes, I'm still going to sew, but wow, I'm gonna love that. Okay, so let me finish collaging some more. I think I need a big piece of this. Wow, that's pretty. Like that. That's part of those jelly print pieces. And then I think I'm going to just take another little piece of book page. I don't even know, this is something different. And run it across here. Feels like rag paper though. Pretty sure it is. Now I'm going to put my girl down. She's kind of my focal point, I think, of this one. I'm going to leave that rough there, even though it's past my card, because I like how it looks. So I'm going to let that dry, ink around it, let it dry, and then I don't know if I'm going to round the corners on this one or not. I like that one. So I think I want to stamp a number because I'm proud of this one. I'm liking this one. I think I want to stamp it right there. Even though you can't see it very good, can you? There we go. And initialed. That one I love. I like that one. Very pretty. Okay, so we have 2 so far. And I think I don't want to make one out of that bright. So let me make a tall one out of it. Boy, that is really pretty. Those papers, you know, I get really surprised. I come back and I look at them and I always like them even more. I just really do. Really like how they look. I think I'll just tear something like this. And then maybe I'll do another piece at the top. Something like that. That's what I think. As you can tell, I really have no idea what I'm doing. And that's okay. I don't think you have to. I think it's just, probably need another glue page, don't I? I'm going to let some of that show out from underneath because I like that rough there. So I'm going to leave that. I think I'm going to grab me another piece of glue paper. Something smells good. I think Mr. Hayden must have made some kind of noodles. So since this is music that's been colored, I wonder about putting a little of this. This is definite music, vintage music page. I don't want the whole thing, so I'm just going to ink and then I'll tear whatever doesn't get inked. or stuck down. Tear across there like that. Like that. Ooh, this is pretty. It's rag paper that has some pretty boxing in it. And I know that these are supposed to be very bright books, but goodness, they need some of this stuff in them, don't you think? That looks like that's either German or French. Kind of looks German. Like I know. I don't know my books part. I'll move that up so that those holes still show. That piece might go in there still. That's from my, really, it's from my stuff for my Italian papers, but I mean, it looks good, I think. Looks good right there. And what do we want to put up in that corner? Maybe a little bit of this ledger that has numbers on it. Of course, that's not wide enough. I'll find a wider one. Ooh, that one's pretty. Look at that. Yeah, let's use it. So I'm going to decal edge alongside this piece. How wide does it need to be? And then it'll lay over that really pretty with my deckled edge. Hopefully I didn't short that. Oh, I didn't. It's good. Okay. That's fun. I like that. Trim this up a little bit. And I'm probably not going to back these because there's a lot of good writing in there, I think. Yeah, I don't think I am. I think this one needs some kind of a focal point, though. Get back in my bag of goodies here. Die cut goodies. What about something like that? It's just a splat. I like it. I'm doing it. Kind of a nuisance to glue around. Okay, so the other day when I went to the secondhand shop, I found this. Remember, I got this with that stencil in there. Oh, and it had the R too. I don't know why I'd need an R there, but maybe I'll put that R there. I just like it, that's all. It's just fun. I was going to put a saying on this, but I kind of just like that R there. Isn't that funny? What do you think of it? Isn't that funny? I was going to look in this secondhand thing to see if I saw any words. I think they've done that on like a label maker, maybe. Here's a you do you. Where do I put it? I like that. I'm going to leave it there. And before I finish this one, I want to put some more of the paint on. Darcy, I'm sure glad you did that on yours. I love that process, and I forget about it. I really, really like when you see others do things. And matter of fact, a friend of mine had, I don't know, a few weeks back sent me, I'm just going to put some on this paper, sent me a neat idea from Pinterest or something, and it made me think, ooh, I need to get some white paint and just dry brush on some brown paper bag. And Completely forgot about it. And then I saw Darcy doing it again, and I thought, oh, dang, why do I need to do that. Love it. I don't know, maybe there's just not a lot happening on this one. Like I didn't do enough, maybe. But I do love it. I love... Now this is shiny, and I'm not loving that. That label is shiny. I'm wondering if I could sand it a little bit. No, I don't know if it's going to stick down very good either. So I'm putting some art glitter glue there. Let's grab my fingernail file, see if we can't rough that baby up. I like that more. What do you think of it? Really, really like that. Okay, I'm feeling good about that one. I think I want to put some of this paint on this one. She did hers around the edge, and it looks so pretty. I think I'm just wanting to do mine in spots because I don't... Well, I say that, now I'm going all the way around the edge. Look at me. Not going to, though. I am going to stop that. Put some on her dress. I liked how that looked before. Yes. I really love that. I do. I'm tickled with those. Those are turning out really good. Okay, so let's do one more on... And I was intending to cut these, but I haven't cut them yet. I think because I like the size of them, it's working out pretty good. But I said we were going to cut it. We should cut it and see how we do. I do on a smaller one. Just going to cut it right like that. More of my Florentine paper. And I'm going to try to, you know, not think. And notice how pretty the back of this Florentine paper is that I tea dyed. I'm going to try not to pay attention to that. Got some wallpaper. More of this ledger. I do love ledger. I'm a sucker for a pretty ledger book. I want to put some of this pretty French writing. I have this little die cut here. I think I'm going to run it right through there just to give it, I don't know, some pizzazz. Does that give it pizzazz? I don't know. Very cool. What do you think? Kind of cool. I'm loving it. I really like how this gold in that Italian paper, it just picks up all that stuff. I really, really like it. Love it. All right, so we'll wait for that one to dry. We've got how many pieces? 4 so far that I've done. I'm going to finish this one, and then I'm going to sew, and then we'll look at our finished pieces. This just happened to be laying here, so let's use it. Of course, there's a lot of stuff laying here. I bet you're thinking, listen, lady, there just happens to be a whole lot of stuff laying there. You are right. Right as rain. And I don't know what that means. My husband used to say that all the time. You are right as rain. I guess, you know, rain is good for the flowers and the whatnot. Maybe that's what he meant. Yeah, he would say all kinds of funny things. I know that that's probably not funny to a lot of people. It just was to me. The way he would say things was funny. Most people think it's kind of dumb, and probably was, but it was still funny to me. I think I'm going to use this other piece of one thing that he used to say that I don't know why it cracked me up, but it did. Maybe that's why he loved me, because I just thought his things were so funny, the things he would say. He would say, you want to watch a video? For video, I know. But back then, you know, there really was video, like let's see, VCR tapes, you know, that kind of thing. We watched those a lot. One time, before we moved into this house, we had to stay in a little rental house for a while till they finished, the people that we bought this house from, till they finished their new house. We had to stay in a rental house till they could get moved out of this. And we just thought it would be a lot quicker than it was, so we didn't, you know, hook up all the things in the living room. We only thought it would be for a short amount of time, and we didn't want to keep moving things and unpacking and stuff, so we just moved what was necessary into that little rental house, and we just put the TV in our bedroom and hooked up the VCR. A lot of people probably just didn't even watching this being like, what's a VCR? It was a thing, and you played videotapes on it, and movies and such. Here's a pretty piece. And so there we were. You know, we didn't set up any of the living room furniture. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea, but we did. Again, like I said, I think we didn't realize just how long. Wait, I'm going to put that there, so I don't need this piece. We were going to be there. I think we thought it was going to be a lot quicker. But, so we set things up in our, we had, you know, a kitchen table and stuff in our bedroom. And we would watch videos, and the kids, you know, all the kids would be piled in our little bit. It was a little bitty house too. Very cute, like very vintage old house that was really cute, but very small. And so there we'd all be, all them kids piled on the bed, and the two dogs watching videos. Silly things you do. But you know what? It was good memories. It was a lot of fun. We laughed a lot. Nobody seemed to mind that there wasn't any room. We had more beds. I mean, there was, but the thing was, we didn't have TVs in all those other rooms, so I'm only going to do that a little bit because I want to put a piece of color right down underneath here. I didn't get enough color on this one. We always tease that we were, you know, they always talk about the neighborhood trash or whatever. That was definitely us because we had a three-legged dog. She was found in some hay. Some lady I worked with, they had a farm, and they found her in their hay. It was really, really cold. She must have been caught in a trap or something because her little leg was just barely hanging on. And they were going to put her to sleep. I'm like, oh, don't put her to sleep. She's fought so hard to stay alive. So we took her and had her little leg taken off because it couldn't be saved. I mean, it was just barely. She was scary looking. I was afraid to touch her. She was so skinny. Every bone in her body was sticking out. That was the absolute best dog. She was so sweet. I loved her. Her name was Molly. We named her Molly. And she was a good one. She was very, very sweet. It's almost like sometimes I think they know when you save them. And she was just, I don't know, she always just appeared to be so grateful, you know? And that, I guess that's probably dumb, but she was a sweetheart. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I just want to cut a piece of that out. That isn't even the piece I wanted, but I've got to like it just fine. Okay. I think I'm going to put that right there. I don't know why. Kind of got a whole bunch of different vibes going on in this little piece, don't I? When we moved to this house, we first came here, we didn't have a fenced-in yard yet. And we couldn't just let our pup, we had 2 dogs. Molly, one I was just telling you about, and Charlie, he was a dachshund. He was a mess. That dog would play fetch. I mean, all blessed, just wear you to the nub. You just didn't even want to see it anymore. And it was like this newspaper, rubber newspaper. He played with it so long that it was just a nubbin. And we finally ended up having to throw it away. I mean, because he was going to choke on it. It was just a little piece of rubber. And I come home that night and Charlie was in the kitchen sitting by the trash can. I said, what's the matter with Charlie? He said, I throwed that little piece of, where do I want to put this? Little piece of newspaper away. And he's been sitting in there whining at the trash can ever since. But anyway, what I was telling about the fenced-in yard. We didn't have one yet when we first moved here. And so we would put them, when we let them out, we would either go with them or put them on a leash that was staked into the ground. And if we couldn't go at the time that they needed to go out, whatever. Well, the ground was so hard at the time that we did it, it didn't stay very well. I think I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one. It didn't stay, and Molly took off. She went on up the road there and dragging that leash. So Scott, he went after her. And I went out to check to make sure that he had got her and she was coming back, whatever. And she was walking right beside of him. And I promise, it looked like she was grinning, like she was smiling. She had her little head down like she knew she'd been bad by taking off. And she was just a grinning. It really looked like she was smiling. And I started laughing, and I guess even Scott noticed it. He said, you know, if I didn't know better, I really think this dog is grinning at me because she knows she's in trouble. Sweet Molly. Okay, so we have, oh, I just love these. We have 4 of them. Look at them. Do you like them? I love them. Okay, so I'm going to sew around these. Even though I think they're beautiful and they probably don't need it, I am going to sew around them. And I tell you another thing I might do is, you know, the stamped cloth that I had, the little, I say stamped cloth, it was the jelly print. I had put the jelly print in some of this. I'm thinking maybe on a couple of these, I want to make a little tab. What do you think? Make the tab out of that? I think I want to do that. Yep, I'm going to do that on a few of them. I don't know, does it need cheesecloth too? that was that little strip, and it's just made perfect for these tabs, isn't it? I think that's a good thing. Let's see, how do I want that? Put it up here. Oh, who knows where I'll put it? I'll probably put it right there. Yeah. Turn it around. Well, the only bad thing is my numbers. You know what? I'm going to do it like this on this one. Ooh. Or should I do it like that on a bigger one? And then put this little one here. Or why don't I just make this so difficult that nobody cares what I do? Okay. I'm going to go sew. And I will be right. Oh, I'm going to round the edges too. So, and I'll be right back. Okay, here are all my pieces. And I have a little bit of this white paint left, so I'm going to do a little marking while I'm showing them to you. Kind of bringing down that black, just a smidge. And this one, I ended up putting a piece of cheesecloth on because it was just laying here, so it gets stuck down. There's the first one. I thought that turned out really good. Very pretty. Like that a lot. And here is the one I put the little tab on. Put a little bit of that. Smear a little bit of that white on my... I probably shouldn't because that Florentine paper is so beautiful, but I felt like I needed a little bit of calming it down. Putting a little bit on my black piece. Just hit and miss. What do you think? Do you like it? Very pretty. Very pretty. And then here is my other one. This one was on the full piece of, or full index card. I know I'm getting paint everywhere, but I will fix it. Just wanted a little bit more right over there. And then here is my first one that I did. I did put the 5 and initialed it. And then here is the last one. And this is the bright one, but it can always use some putting of the paint with the things, can't it? I like that too. I do. Very, very cool. Okay. So, I will have to figure out something to do with the rest of that paint because I'm not going to let that go to waste. And I'm going to clean up my paint here. Clean up my desk a little bit. And, you know, later on when I put these in a journal, I can always put toppers on them. You know, if I decide I want a tag topper or something like that, can always do that at a later time. But what do you think of them? Aren't they cool? I love this whole mixed media jelly plate thing because it really makes me realize how many ways I could have been using it that I wasn't. You know, just like these small little pieces, tearing it down, adding color to things. I love it so much. I hope you guys like this, and I will link Darcy's channel since I was telling you about the way she did the paint, and Tatty Treasures. I will link that because hers were a lot brighter and more beautiful. I mean, more, yeah, I'm not saying this isn't beautiful. I'm just saying it was brighter, it was beautiful, they were smaller. So I will link those things below if I've mentioned it. And I'll probably put Carrie, the paper monkey, her link there too, as she's the one that has inspired me to just keep pushing things down. Quit thinking about it so much and just do. So again, I hope you guys like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.